Hey, buddy, how are you? This is Jeff Fisted. I'm the idiot up on stage for the Hot Rod Power Tour. You're listening to Every Car Has a Story with JoepeP and Dusty. These guys are good.
The time has come, it's very clear. The car you've wanted is really here. It's delightful, it's lovely, it's DeSoto. You'll understand the reasons why. For once you drive it, you'll want to buy. It's delightful, it's lovely, it's DeSoto. You can tell at a glance that this swell car is far in advance. You can hear that great big engine murmuring low, raring to go. So make sure you see and drive the new DeSoto. I man alive, it's delightful, it's lovely, it's delirious, it's the living, and it's the latest, it's the limit, it's deluxe, it's DeSoto.
Tomorrow at your DeSoto dealers, see and drive the delightful, lovely DeSoto for 1956.
And good afternoon, everybody. It's a beautiful Thursday afternoon here in Wilmington, North Carolina. I'm JoepeP, automotive artist, and with me is my trusty sidekick, Dusty, who knows every singer from the 1956 DeSoto commercial. I'll tell you, that song just wants me to go out and buy a DeSoto.
I tell you what, great cars, Joe. Brings me back to George Fenneman and Groucho Marx. George, wherever y'all, how about sending us a text? Every car has a story.
What's this?
What is this? A special alert.
This just in. This is news to me. This just in. Happy birthday, Dusty. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, radio partner, TV partner, Dusty. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, boy, what a serenade. That was really a surprise. The last time I got surprised like that was on my 40th birthday. So thanks very much.
I was going to say maybe your
really
draft
nice.
notice or something. Well, here's
that was a surprise. Dude.
Hey, you know what? We're just a bunch of car guys that like to have a good time. And, that's what it's all about, But, getting back to the show in all seriousness, that DeSoto ad was great. Now, did your dad ever look at a DeSoto?
Well, I tell you what, DeSoto was in the same league as Buick, and they were beautiful cars. In fact, I think they had what the engine's called a Fire Dome. Yeah. And believe it or not, DeSotos are very, very collectible now.
Oh, big time.
Big time. Big time in terms of where they fit on the collectible scale. Probably much more rare than, say, a 56 Buick or 57 Buick. And the price points on those are really nice. DeSoto two-door coupes, probably in $70,000, $80,000, $90,000. So I'd love to have one. And the colors, George. You remember the colors, Joe.
It's
tones.
Joe Pep. Remember, we've been doing this show since October. He's so. Well, I really rattled him with the happy birthday
you
thing.
You did, and I keep coming back to George Fenneman. And George, if you're still around, listen. Send us an email, everycarhasastory.net, okay? Yeah. I'd love to hear from you. George was the smoothest announcer on Groucho's radio program sponsored by DeSoto.
Well, maybe if he's at the Bite-A-Wee nursing home in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and if he can get to a computer, or if he's not with us, maybe he can knock 3 times.
Right.
Oh, is that George?
Even a relative of George, I'd love to hear to see how he's doing. Listen, we got big news. The North Brunswick Chamber Car Show, August 18th. 106.7 is going to be the media sponsor. They're going to have 14 different trophy categories, and one of the interesting ones is going to be not only best in show. Every car show has that, but they're going to have the kids' choice. How about that?
See, what I always say, bring your kids to a car show. It's an outdoor history lesson on 4 wheels. You could be giving them history lessons, and they won't even know it. That's the great
That's right.
thing, you know. It's like, bring a kid to a car show. Get them out of
And you car folks going to be at the car show. Open the doors of your car. Let the kids sit in the car. That's a memorable, very, very memorable part of their growing up experience. They'll never forget it.
Right,
They'll
like
never forget
Mark Gessler from the HVA, Historical Vehicle Association, said, it's like, give a kid a car ride, you know, of course, with parental consent, but
Yeah.
bring the parents along if you can, because, you know, the thing is that you'll never be able to sit in a 1930 Packard or
No.
or a 1912 Cadillac like our friends Bob Lane.
Or a 1955 DeSoto.
Or 50, 55, 56 DeSoto.
Yeah.
Buy a DeSoto.
Yeah.
I just want to go out and buy a DeSoto
Oh,
now.
I love those cars. Well, here's the deal. It's going to be from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's called Leland Under the Lights. It's in Brunswick Forest. I guess it's right by the Lowe's food store there in the
Yes.
In the area. So I'll be there. I know Joe's got a previous engagement, but I'll stop by and say hello. I think.
Sorry, folks.
Yeah, you listen to our radio program right about that time, and then maybe they'll have a live broadcast there. We can talk about some of the cars.
And sing happy birthday to Dusty. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
why not? On your birthday, well, tomorrow's really your birthday, but hey, on your birthday,
Why not?
everybody's a kid
Why-
again,
why
you
not?
know?
Why not?
Why not?
Well, Joe, tell us about our guest today.
Well, our guests today are Kurt Trent. Kurt's from Charlotte, North Carolina, one of our own. And Kurt was on our show back in November, and we're going to be talking motorsports and how the industry's doing.
Yep.
We got some great photographs that Kurt has taken over the years. And then, of course, at 1:33 this afternoon, we have calling in Uncle Jesse from the TV show Deadwood, who's also on Angel's Garage. And he'll be talking about what's coming up next week on Angel's Garage.
Great.
And then we have Mark from Angel's Garage, and Mark is married to Angela.
Oh, okay.
And Angela will be on next week, and they're going to be. He's going to be talking about everything that's going on, how that build started for the Peace Jam car that's going to be raffled off, the 1968 Corvette
68 Vet.
in front of the United Nations in New York City. And it's times like this when I wish I was still living in Connecticut, because all I'd have to do is just grab the Metro North,
Sure,
get down
be there.
there,
Yeah.
and be right there. But it's going to be a great show. So, you know, it's not tune out. But anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Hey, when you watch the show, understand they may be wearing our T-shirts. Huh? They're gonna be a part
That's
of the
right.
show?
They're going to be, Angela said that they're going to be on the Today Show. And if everything
Wow.
works out right, they're going to be...
How about
They're
that?
going to be having our shirts on.
Yeah.
And Angela, hi Angela,
Yeah.
hi Mark. Hope
Hi,
you're
Angela.
seeing us in
Mark, yeah.
TV video land there.
Absolutely.
And just like to say hello to our good pal, Kayla Rain Dancer out in Montana. She just bought a 62 Thunderbird.
Wow.
And
Wow.
this thing, you know what? A little elbow grease. I mean, what
Yeah.
I see. A little elbow grease, a little TLC. And it's really a terrific looking
You know,
machine.
that 62 T-Bird, the 62 and the 63 are two of my favorite designs. It was only a 2-year car. Very unusual, very, very aerodynamic. That's when they had the Thunderbird Roadster, where you actually put a cover over the
Yes.
back seats and you just had the two front seats. Again, very, very collectible, beautiful cars. Very, very beautiful performance
Yeah.
cars. So I can't wait to see what she does with it.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, with Kayla, it's out in Montana, they have these cars that if the car broke down in 1948, it's still there. And Kayla and her pals, they go out and they find a car. It's like almost like finding a puppy. You know, it's like, come here, I'll take good care of you. But, but the thing is that it's saving history.
Yes.
And she's a fantastic person, great car gal.
Plus, they're beautiful cars. And, you know, a car like that, once it's done, you drive it someplace, and people want to stop and talk about it. They're going to say, gee, my dad had that car, my grandfather had that car, or what kind of a car is that?
Right.
And that particular design, I remember, had the fold-away steering wheel. You'd open the door, the steering wheel would actually move.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so you could get in the car. So big guys like us, you know, didn't have to fight with the steering wheel in the seat, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I could see it, 1962. Okay, Bernice, who touched the wheel? I can't get in anymore. Oh, Harry, here, move it. Just move it over to the left, Thanks, Bernice.
Well, here's one of my favorite parts of the program, and that's to talk about our international listeners. So, anybody new?
International,
pop-up?
well,
Yeah.
it's more from Brazil.
Wow.
A
And
couple
I
more
love
from
Brazil.
Hawaii, yeah.
Hey, welcome, Brazil.
And
Thank you very much for
Argentina,
watching.
Mexico.
Argentina, gorgeous country.
Of course, our good friend Rose Bond from Sydney, Australia, Japan, Turkey, Pakistan. I want one from the North Pole, but haven't gotten that yet. Maybe someone from the Navy's out there.
Yeah. How about you? How about like Walter Winchell? All that was the fellow we were trying to talk. Remember Walter Winchell?
Yes, he's
all
dead.
the ships at sea.
He's
Well,
dead
he
now.
is. Yes, he may be like George.
He
But
can't text you.
If you're in the Navy and you're on a carrier out there somewhere watching our program, listen, send us a text. We'd like to say hello
That's right.
to you, all right?
Hey, our people in the armed forces,
Armed
thank
forces,
you very much
absolutely.
for your service.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so the numbers are climbing. Last week on our second video, I guess that's what you call it, video presentation, we had 950 visitors watch our show.
Fantastic.
And I'm very proud of that. And I like to thank everybody from the bottom of my oil pan.
Yeah.
But it's something where it was just an idea that Dusty approached me on last October.
Yeah.
And
here we are.
We're climbing leaps and bounds there. So what else you got on the big yellow pad?
I think I'm going to give you a Stump Joe question. You ready for this?
Yes.
Okay.
Stump Joe is brought to you by the Antique Automobile Club of Cape Fear. I got your hat, guys.
All right.
See?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, you ready for the question?
Ready.
All right. You know Mickey Mouse, right?
Mickey, well...
Mickey Mouse. That's
Mickey
my little
Mouse.
boy. Mickey
Okay.
Mouse, my little boy's called. All right. Well, Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse.
Way back when he started, the first cartoon, I think, was called Riverboat Willie.
Steamboat Willie.
Steamboat Willie.
Steamboat.
You got, so you're
Come on,
you're
I
halfway
worked in-
there. Come on, you got it.
I worked
You
in
got
the
it.
comic book industry for 20 years. You can't...
There you go.
Anyway,
You can't. All right. Well, that'll be our second.
I know
Stump Joe question.
Aquaman personally.
All right. All right. All right.
Okay.
So here's the question. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
So-
Ready, Chris? Good.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So Walt Disney, in order to finance this cartoon,
Yes.
had to sell his car.
Right. Yeah.
So the question was, what kind of car did he have to sell?
Okay.
That's a toughie.
That's a toughie. What kind of car? Now, here's a guy that had a dream, and he was taken advantage of. The people stole his idea for cartoons.
Yeah.
Sold his car. Let's see. What kind of car did Walt Disney have? Well, two are coming to mind. Dun, dun, boom, boom. Okay, two come to mind. It's either a Chevrolet or a Dodge.
Is that your final answer?
Maybe it's a Chevy Dodge.
Well, I'm sorry. You missed it. Yeah.
What is it?
Actually, it was a moon. It was a moon.
A moon.
A moon roadster. So, the pun is he was over his moon.
Every Car Has a Story has been brought to you by the Book of Bad Puns. Pick one up today. Okay, a moon.
Yeah, it was a moon,
yeah.
which is really an interesting car. And there's much more of a story about it. One of these other programs, we'll get into that, Joe. Okay.
All right.
I thought we'd talk a little bit about the changing automotive demographics and environment. Doing a little bit of study, I see that the Detroit Car Show, and I don't know if you've ever been to the Detroit Car Show. I think I have, and it's really quite an event. And every year they have about 800,000 people come in. I think last year was about 800,000. The year before was about 823,000. But what's happening is that some of the major players, some of the major car manufacturers are starting to drop from these shows. And for example, at the Detroit show, Volvo and Mazda dropped out. The upcoming show in Frankfurt, I guess there are about 11 brands are going to be dropping out. More at the Paris show, including Ford, Nissan, and VW. I guess at the Frankfurt show, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and Audi are going to be dropping out. So what does that tell you? And I always say, listen, you can look at magazines, which are also declining in circulation, and you can look at websites. You can but you can't smell the new car smell. You can't feel the leather. You
No.
can't see the beautiful women. You can't see the concept cars. To go to a car show, it's just an incredible event, one of these national car shows. So I don't know what's going on, Joe. What do you think's going on
Well,
out there?
my thought is it's the pencil pushers. It's easier to show your message on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, if they have a YouTube channel. So you think about the production cost it takes to put together a spot on social
Right.
media.
Well, we talked about the fact that we had the Bullet Car folks on a couple of shows ago, and they said that the Bullet Car from the Stephen Queen movie got more exposure at the New York Car Show than some of these other very, very, very expensive undertakings by the car company. So maybe they look at that and say, hey, listen, is it really worth the dollars and cents?
Well, I know somebody that could put their 2 cents in.
Yeah.
And my good pal, your good pal, Kurt Trent is on the line.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Kurt, how are you this afternoon?
Good, Joe. How are you and Dusty doing?
Good, kid.
Fantastic.
Hey, the question is, all these big car manufacturers are dropping out of these auto shows. What's your take on that?
Well, I was listening to the conversation. It is a matter of expense, but it's also a matter of the changing demographics, which Dusty mentioned. So many of the young kids today are not looking at domestic car makers for their first car of choice. They buy, I hate to use the derogatory term, but they're rice burners. They're tuners.
Right.
And those are the hot rods of today, whereas when you and I were growing up, it was the muscle car era.
Yeah.
When I was young, my grandfather was a car collector. What he collected were what are now referred to as antiques. He had a 1910 Buick. He had a Whippet. He had a high wheeler. He had multiple cars. Those were the cars of his generation. The muscle cars of our generation, sad to say, but these old guys are going to die off, and muscle cars, the market's going to go away. So it's not the same market anymore, and I don't think they have the marketing guys in place in the manufacturers to really go after that market.
I agree.
I
agree with you. And a muscle car today, an average muscle car, entry level is going to be in the 30s, $32,000 to $33,000, and you can go out and buy a very, very nice sporty Honda for about $22,000 or $23,000. And it may be an economic issue. The millennials are not known at this point for having a great deal of disposable income. In fact, a lot of them are still living at home. So maybe the trick is to find the manufacturers, Ford or GM, to come out with a competitively priced muscle car the way they did with the GTO when they started out with a very simple car, put a big engine in it.
Yeah, well, it's time will tell. So, Kurt, how are things with you? Busy? We had a nice conversation.
I'm busy, but it's a good thing. It keeps me out of trouble. As a matter of fact, I'm out running the streets today. I pulled over to talk to you guys. I'm sitting under the shade of a great big sugar maple tree on the side of the road, watching the cars go by. That's my life story. You say every car has a story.
Yeah.
That is my story.
Wow.
I'll go a little background. I tell people all the time I come by it honest. My parents went to the drag races for their honeymoon. So, that tells you a little bit where I come from.
Yeah.
And my kids, they are, I guess they would be referred to as Gen Xers maybe. I don't know what all those terms mean, but they were born in the early to mid-'90s.
Mm-hmm.
They're car people. They love cars because they were brought up in that way of life.
Right.
And so many kids of their friends are the same way because their parents were that way. If you weren't brought up loving cars, it's a matter of convenience. It just gets you from point A to point B. And I tell people, I consult for guys at auctions and that type of thing. Yeah. And I tell them all the time, if you don't turn around and look back at the car that you just parked, you bought the wrong car.
Yeah, I agree.
You have to
right.
You have to love what you drive. And so, it's the same way with motorsports in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hand-wringing going on right now about, the death of NASCAR. Well, maybe not. Motorsports in general is healthy as it's ever been, but it's more participatory. The young kids, the kids my kids age, 24, 25, 26, don't want to watch somebody drive. They want to go drive.
Right.
And you look at the SCCA runoffs, the national runoffs, they have 5,000 cars come out there.
Wow, I didn't know that. Wow.
Oh yeah, it's a 10-day event, and they have cars from all over the country come in and run. They've got the big auto fair coming up here in 2 weeks at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and you won't be able to count the vendors on both hands and both feet. I mean, it's an all-day event to go out and just walk the thing. You got to spend both days to look at everything. So it's not really going away.
Yeah.
It is a big car show, and they do it twice a year now.
Wonderful.
Used to be just springtime, and now they do it spring and fall.
Yeah.
But you've still got, a lot of the hot rod guys that they are older guys, but they're still very active.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to approach it from a different point of view. You have to go after it as a different business model. And I hate to say it, but it makes no sense to me when I look at these big racetracks and they're taking seats out rather than lowering ticket price. And I know the pencil pushers, the bean counters say if you lower the ticket price, you dilute the value of your product. Well, not necessarily. What you do is you put 10,000 more people in the seats, and those 10,000 people are going to eat hot dogs, they're going to buy Cokes, they're going to buy a T-shirt.
Absolutely.
And so you make up your money somewhere else rather than the price of a ticket to get in.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a personal story. The last time I was at a stock car race, my son took me to the All-Star race 3 years ago, his freshman year in college. The tickets came in the mail, and I opened them, and I was like, oh, my God. I couldn't believe what he paid. And so I called him, and I said, Chandler, what are these tickets? And he said, I want to take you to the race for Father's Day. Okay, fine, but, dude, you're a college kid. Don't worry about it. So we went. But I got to thinking about it. When I was growing up, it was a family event. Me, my dad, my mom, my sister, we all went to the races. A family of four can't afford to do that anymore.
No.
I mean, on the income that you have, who can spend $500 on a one-day event?
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
And if you do, you sure can't do it year in, year out.
Yeah.
And moving away from the South, as much as I hate to say that too, but they went to the markets in the Midwest and out West, and they kind of abandoned their fan base, so to speak. They were going after the new fans, and the bloom's off the rose now, and those people aren't going to the tracks anymore. The one of my heroes in NASCAR is Humpy Wheeler. Humpy's a marketing genius, and Humpy has said sometimes you got to go backwards to go forward.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to do away with some of this technology in these cars and make them racier and make it more affordable, because he uses the analogy, there's some guy out in the middle of Texas with a bunch of teeth missing, and he talks with an accent, but he can drive the wheels off a car, but he'll never get the opportunity because nobody gives it to him.
Because
there's no place for him to go do that.
Yeah, the entry barrier is so high. The cars are so sophisticated, and I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid, I remember after World War II, maybe in 47 or 48, and this is up in New England, they'd take an old pasture, turn it into a racetrack, and all these jalopies would come out, and they would race, and boy, it was great fun.
It was great fun for that time period, but now everything has changed. Hey, Kurt, Chris, our producer's telling us it's time to say happy motoring to you, because we have to break for station identification. That went really by quick. Hey, Kurt, we got to have you back on again. This is
anytime, guys. I enjoy it so much, and I'll do it anytime. You guys are a blast.
Oh, Kurt, thanks so much. Kurt Trent. Motorsports guru. It's the same thing that's happened with motorsports. It's like with baseball. There was a time when you go to a Yankee game, and it didn't break the bank. So what's happening now is people are going to the minor league games,
which are fun,
which are a lot of fun, and you get a ticket for like $10. But anyway, hey folks, we'll be right back for a pause. So this will be time to, head down to the kitchen, get a sandwich, get a beverage of your choice, and tune us back. We'll be right back. Chris, how many minutes we have before we go back on? 5 minutes. Come back in 5 minutes. Get that sandwich. Sit down there with the birthday boy Dusty and myself, and we'll be right back. This is Every Car Has a Story with Joe Pep and Dusty on the Big Talker Radio 106.7 FM in beautiful Wilmington, North Carolina. All right, we're back, and if you haven't gotten your sandwich or beverage of your choice, time's up. But anyway, you're listening to Every Car Has a Story. I'm JoepeP. This is Dusty, and now it's time for sponsors. Are you ready there, Mr. Chris? All right. One of my favorite sponsors, our new sponsors, is Hell's Kitchen, located at 119 Princess Street or 118?
118.
118. Oh, this is the new copy.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, 118 Princess Street in beautiful downtown Wilmington, North Carolina. Hell's Kitchen is the former film set from Dawson's Creek. So, hey, now you can go on vacation, come down, say hello to me, go down to where they shot Dawson's Creek, and have a great lunch or dinner.
Yeah.
And Hell's Kitchen was voted best wings 4 years running, and also features a large selection of hamburgers, pub food, seafood, salads, wraps, and vegan options. Thank God for vegan options. Anyway, here we go. There's plenty to do at Hell's Kitchen, as the copy says. Monday and Thursday, exercise your cranium with trivia. Let's see, trivia from Hell's Kitchen there. Trivia night. You got to come to trivia night. Okay, Hell's also features Dollar Taco Tuesdays at $6.66.
I gotta go there.
I just got that one.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Burger on Wednesdays and live bands most Fridays and Saturdays. Enjoy brunch on Sundays starting at 10 a.m. and an awesome Bloody Mary bar.
Mary's,
I'm
yeah.
there. I love Bloody Marys. Okay, Hell's Kitchen is the downtown bar with Keno. So let the good times roll. We also offer free Wi-Fi, internet, jukebox, free downtown lunch delivery, and online ordering. So if you're in Montana or Arizona, I don't think they go out that far. By the time you would get it, it'd be cold. But anyway, so one day, maybe a 3D printer will make your lunch. Who knows?
Yep.
But anyway, with the friendliest staff in town, you're sure that the best serving experience as well. So come on down to Hell's Kitchen and have one hell of a good time. Look them up on the internet, as you could see. You could see the internet website, and they're located at 118 Princess Street in downtown Wilmington, North Carolina. Hell's Kitchen.
And I have to tell you, Joe, their Caesar salad is outstanding, and they have fried mushrooms to die for. Absolutely. Wonderful hamburgers. Great place. Come on down and say Joe and Dusty sent you. Also, I want to talk about Manifest Design. Yeah, oh boy. Listen, Manifest Design, 200 North Front Street, 910-352-2326 or 910-515-1333. Interior Design, North Carolina Furniture. We have designer rugs, not carpets. Yeah, that's a whole new designer rugs. And I tell you what, it's a destination. It really is.
It's a vacation for your eyes. And, hey, don't forget about Eddie's.
Oh, won't forget about Eddie's. We're still talking about Manifest. Because,
I'm sorry.
Because it's also called the jewel of downtown. It really is.
The
jewel of downtown. Yeah, you got to come in there, ask for Connie. Make sure you tell them that Joe and Dusty sent you. You also want to talk about my favorite hot rod and collision and body shop, doing the Cobra. Eddie's Hot Rod and Collision. 5009 Carolina Beach Road, 910-833-5473. Eddie is an artist. The guy is really, really concerned about your car, your collector car. If you've had a fender bender, we talked about that, Joe. Listen, these new cars are expensive. They're complicated. He makes them look better than new. I don't know how they do it, but it's absolutely amazing. They have a real gift, and it is the best body shop in town.
The best.
So, again, 5009 Carolina Beach Road, 910-833-5473, Joe.
And, of course, go to our website at everycarhasastory.net. Look for Eddie's banner. Click on it. Goes right to the website. There's the phone number. Give him a call. He'll make your car look primo. So...
what do we got now?
Well, boy, I'll tell you, we're just so...
I was going to drop another...
No, you can't, because Uncle Jesse's on the line.
Uncle Jesse's
on.
We're ready. Okay,
he's at a payphone in front of Schwab's in Hollywood there. Hey, Uncle Jesse, how are you?
Hey, hello, Joe. Dusty, I'm doing great. How are you?
Great.
We're doing great, kids. So give us a quick update on Deadwood. Hello? Hello?
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa,
Yes,
whoa.
sir.
Okay, give us a quick update on Deadwood and what's going on with Angel's Garage that can be seen on live stream TV next Wednesday.
Right. Well, Deadwood is starting filming in October, and that's good because it's my birthday month.
All right.
We're all excited about it.
I'll sing to you.
I'm very excited.
Right.
And I want everybody to know that out at Angel's Garage, we're all getting ready for season 2 with some more cars, stars, and real life. And we wanted to extend an offer to all those that go to Angel's Garage on Twitter, because all you have to do is put in Jesse sent me to get the keys, and you will be entered to win a gift bag from the shop.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. I
The
want
winner
a
will
set
be
of
announced.
keys. I want a set of
Yeah,
keys.
and you got it. And on the 23rd of August, we're going to be giving it away on the show.
Wow.
And this
Oh, boy.
gift bag is right from our shop. And we're also getting ready for the big raffle of the Corvette in New York City.
That's right,
in
the Big
September.
Apple. Yep.
Yes, on the 21st of September, and it'll be it'll be televised on I don't know what station, but anyway, it'll be at 3
It'll
o'clock.
be on the
in
TV,
Yeah.
don't worry. So that's
Right,
great. And then,
yeah.
as you know, Mark's following right behind you as soon as you hang up. And
He is.
Yeah, we're interviewing Mark. So we got to
Great.
promote this thing, man. We got to get that money so that the
Yes.
people can benefit from the Peace Jam auction there. But Jesse,
Yes,
thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
very much for putting a couple of dollars into the payphone in front of the Schwab's Pharmacy in downtown Hollywood, and and as always, thank you so much. You're a
you,
good
Jesse.
car pal.
Hey, thanks a lot from the left coast, and we'll be watching you on the radio again.
Okay,
all
kid.
right. Thank you.
Thanks, Uncle Jesse. Uncle Jesse, he's going to be on the show. When's he going to be on? I think he's going to be on in October. He had a 57 Buick, and he's going to be talking about that. But
Great car.
following right behind Uncle Jesse, I believe, is Mark from Angel's Garage. He's not on yet. But before he's on, I
Yeah.
just got to say a special thank you to my son, Kyle. He got me this awesome T-shirt, and I just think it's great. The surprises are just
They
multiplying
never
around here.
stop
But thank
coming.
you, Kyle. You're the best kid.
All right. Well, we have a few minutes for,
Don't forget
for
to
another
take out the
stump joke
garbage.
question.
Okay.
Got a couple of minutes.
Yep.
You ready for this one?
I'm ready.
Being a cartoon guy.
Yeah, I'm ready. Okay.
All
Here
right.
we go.
Tell us very quickly about your cartoon experience, so we kind of set the.
Let's see. Started Archie Comics in 1989,
Yep.
and then left in 2010. Thanks to Hemmings, they showcased my art
Yep.
in the October 2009 issue of Hemmings Classic Car magazine. And I'll tell you, it's you never know. Your best opportunities always come out of left field. And I've met so many wonderful people, from doing automotive commissions to talking to folks on our radio show, and then our radio show is now our TV video radio. I don't know how the heck you
Yeah.
say it. I'll get the right name for it. I know someone will email me saying, this is the proper way you should tell us it. But anyway, so this is all new. But the thing is, it's really great. And if you hear a noise in the background, we got people out there
Cutting
weed
the
whacking.
grass, yeah.
But
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what? It's
Hey,
good to be employed.
That's live video, right?
That's right.
Okay,
So what do you-
here's the question.
Wait a minute. I
Big-
think Chris is getting some. No, nothing yet. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, being a expert in cartoons and knowing all those folks, and being a noted illustrator and working with Jughead,
Jughead Jones,
right?
great
Jughead
guy.
Jones. All right. So back in the 30s, there was a comic strip called Ace Drummond, Drummond, and he was an ace aviator, and talked about all the pilots and all his adventures from World War I. Who created Ace Drummond?
Ace Drummond. Well, of course, you folks, Saturday listens to this, you heard a dead spot here, and it's like, sorry, I forgot about that. Ace Drummond. Okay, I think I got the answer.
All right.
tell you, it's something. Chris just gives him this sign, with the throat, like cut it out, and the orchestra stops. Chester Gould.
Pretty close. I love the comics, and as a kid on Sundays, that was the fun part where you get a chance to pull them all out and look at them. But this is amazing. I didn't know this. Ace Drummond was created by Captain Eddie Rickenbacker, the Ace of Ace in World War I.
He came up with the concept.
He came up with the byline that was illustrated by Clayton Knight. So he was the illustrator.
Those are the old school.
The old school guys. And what a great story. I had no idea. Of course, Captain Eddie, very, very, very famous Ace of Aces, 26 victories in World War I, went on to form Eastern Airlines. And one of the great stories about Eastern, I tell you, if you've ever flown on an airline and you arrived and your baggage didn't arrive, you know what it's like to sleep in dirty clothes with no shaving gear or toothbrush. Your wife is
not griping
because she has no makeup, and it goes on and on and on, and they give you the nicest hotel room in the world.
Right.
Well, listen, Eastern Airlines was based out of Miami. That's where Captain Eddie lived. And so they were starting to get some complaints. So Captain Eddie got all the executives of Eastern Airlines together in New York and had a meeting. And then after the meeting was over, he sent them all back to Miami. Well, actually, maybe he started in Miami and sent them to New York, sent them the other way. Whichever way they went, Captain Eddie made sure they lost all their bags.
Ah, nice.
So absolutely. So you airline folks out there, great, great, great story. Maybe that's something you should pay attention to. But Eastern Airline didn't have a problem with lost bags after that. Which leads to another story. They lost my bag in India, for gosh sakes.
Well, at least someone didn't die like all your other stories, But anyway, Chris is telling us that we have Mark from Angel's Garage, and he's sharing the phone booth over in front of the Schwab's pharmacy with Uncle Jesse. How you doing, Mark?
Doing real good. How are you and Dusty doing there?
All right.
We're good.
Well, this is the first. This is the first time I'm talking with Mark because he's always out working on the cars while Angela's sitting back on the lounge chair eating bonbons and looking at Motor Trend magazine. But welcome to Every Car Has a Story. What Angela has told me about what you do for charities like the Mustang that you built for the children's auction with children with diabetes. The car sold for $167,000.
Wow.
Now you're finished working with the '68 Corvette, which will be eventually will get in front of the United Nations for Peace Jam. I have to say thank you so very much. This is car people at the best. Yep,
we
go
like
ahead.
to thank people like Joe and Dusty there. We like to thank you as well because without people like you, the industry wouldn't keep going. So it takes a lot of people to make it happen.
Yes,
Thank
indeed.
you as well.
Yes,
Well,
indeed.
the thing is that, Mark, it's, and I say this time after time, it's like bring your kids to a car show. It's an outdoor history lesson on four wheels. And we promote family togetherness. And, it's like get the kids interested in automobiles. When I was talking to Angela, I says this '68 Corvette. There was so much turmoil going on in the world in 1968, and here's a car that's going to be auctioned off for peace. And I think that's just wonderful. But getting to the chase, where did you find this Corvette at?
Actually, Angela found it online out of Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's one of the first times I've ever purchased anything offline like that, without being there to check it out, So we really had to depend on the people on the other end as well to give us an accurate description of the car, which they did, so it worked out. So it was really good, and it turned out it's a 1968, of course, Stingray. It's got the L79, 327, 350 horse engine, and a 4-speed. It's got the close ratio Muncie 4-speed and a 370 posi gear, in the back. So whoever ordered it from the factory back in the day, really had the essence for wanting to go like road racing and driving it fast.
Was it?
It's a nice car.
Was it the condition I saw in it? There was a lot of rot, and the joke is, never buy a car from Pennsylvania because of the winters. And I'd have to say, living in Connecticut for 30 years. That's the same thing in Connecticut. You know, I saw the photos that Angela had shown me. There was a lot of rot, but that's just remarkable. So, did you do a rotisserie restoration, or how was it restored?
Well, we have a hoist, so I'm able to get at every aspect of the car, you know, to get underneath it and around it, and that's the way that I like to do it. We didn't take the whole body off of the car. However, all the mounts, anything that was, you know, rotted out has been replaced, you know, and done correctly. But there was a lot of work. You know how it is coming from the Rust Belt. Michigan was the same way, and a lot of times people will say, hey, if your car came from Michigan, I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah,
you know?
that's right. That's right.
But if you go through them and you do them the right way and you take them back down, you grind all that stuff off, blast all that stuff off, you know, however you have to do it, you get the rust back off of it and you start with a clean slate, just like a painter likes a clean canvas.
Yep.
And, you know, you build the car back up from there. Luckily, this one had almost all of its original pieces on it, which was remarkable for a 50-year-old car.
Yeah.
One owner?
So it's
One owner, Mark, or
no, it's had multiple owners. This thing was painted almost every color underneath the rainbow. It had so many different paint jobs on it over the years. You know, but it was supposed to be a British racing green. But, you know, when we paint them, we like to pizzazz a little bit and pop them up a little bit.
Sure.
So we mixed up a custom paint and put it on it, and it really turned out real nice. So,
Well, Mark,
the new owner is going to be really, really happy with this car.
It's a gorgeous car. Well, tell us, how did you get started in the restoration business, and how did that lead to Angel's Garage?
Well, you know, I like you said, from a very early age when I was a kid, you know, I just happened to see a couple of cars, and it really just stirred something inside of me. And, you know, I ended up buying my first car when I was 13 years old, and it was a Mustang, 1968. And I went to look at it, and it took about 6 months because she was trying to sell the car. She wanted X amount of dollars for it, and I didn't have that.
Yep.
You know, I was lucky to have maybe half of what she wanted for the car. So she says, well, you know, just put in a bid on it. And, you know, so I did, and she called 6 months later and says, hey, you know, is your bid still good for what you had? And I says, yeah, you know, and I had to borrow an extra $200, you know, because I cleaned out everything I had in my account when I bought the car, and I still have it today.
Oh, that's
she sold
tremendous.
it to me and said,
Really?
Promise me that,
wow.
Yeah, she sold it to me. She said, this was my mom's car, and she kept all the receipts from Ford Motor Company and everything when she'd take it in to have all the service done and everything. So all original interior, you know, original engine, original everything. It's got the J-code engine with a 302 4-barrel cruise
nice
control.
engine.
Yeah, it was a pretty rare car, you know. And you know, I didn't know too much about it when I first got into it, you know. So I took it to a dealer, you know, and had him put it up on the hoist. Well, everybody in the dealership stopped. You know, all the service guys, all the managers, all the salespeople, everybody's underneath that car.
Yeah.
You know, and oh, look at this. We've only seen, you know, photographs of this. We've never seen one in actual production that had cruise control and all this from 68.
Yeah.
You know, this is amazing. And so the guy says, how much can you buy for it? I told him, he says, buy it. He says, absolutely buy it. He says, don't let it pass you up. So, so I did, but you know, there wasn't too much to do with that car because it was running so well and everything. So, you know, as time progressed and a couple of years went past, I found a car for $200 that had been wrecked, and it was a Mustang, a 71, and, you know, had to go all through it and then start doing it. But it was just a hobby initially, you know. But coming from Flint and Michigan like that, as years go past, you know, you start meeting people in the car industry and like you said, going for a ride in this guy's car, going for a ride with that guy, and you know, going down to this machine shop and talking with this guy or what have you. And
it's in the DNA up there.
The amount of information that's available.
Definitely. So how did this? Now, Uncle Jesse told me his side of the story, how the whole show started. So now I want to compare notes, and I want to hear your spin on how did you get this live stream TV show going out there in Southern California?
Well, that's all thanks to my crazy wife, Angela.
That crazy wife, Angela. Hey, you know,
that was her thing.
Hey, Mark.
I never really restored cars or whatever, you know, for other people to take them to shows or anything like that. I just did it for myself, you know, and got into doing it professionally as a mechanic for many years. And when we got married, she says, what are you doing? Just doing this for yourself. You got to get out there. You got to get noticed, and okay, whatever, well, we'll give it a try, and so it went from just doing it, on the side like that to eventually she came down the driveway one day and had passes for the North American International Auto Show.
Yeah.
So I never know what she's going to do or when she's going to do it. I usually find out 5 minutes before it's going to happen.
Wow.
Well,
hey,
so
Mark.
I was working on a 64.5 Mustang Coupe the one day, and she comes out and she says, we're going out to California to go meet Ralph Richardson from the movie Deadwood. And I said, no way, because that's like my favorite show, right? And, so I said, you're crazy. I said, we don't have the money for this. Anything else, we got to do it. We got to do it. We got to do it. And, okay, I don't know how this is going to go, but we're going to try it.
Yep.
Wow.
I hope we got the money to get back, and that kind of
That's
thing.
the exciting part.
That's yeah. Hey, Mark, tell our audience how they can get to your website and Facebook page. I know we have a link on our Facebook page for Angel's Garage, but I'd like to hear it from the main source. So please tell our audience so our viewers can follow you and follow the event of the season with this Peace Jam car.
Yep, the Peace Jam is the name of the organization that's going to raffle off this year. And it's all about, like you say, peace for the world and getting everybody together. Tumultuous times from 1968 to now. It's been 50 years. So, it's kind of a milestone, so we decided to go that route with it this year. And we hope it really works out well, but we need a lot of support from people. So we depend on the car people and the car industry. So come on, people, let's get it going on for this thing.
Excellent. Well, Mark, our producer's telling us, and you know all about that with the people on the set, hey, time to wrap it up. So our producer, Chris, is telling us it's time to say goodbye. But, Mark, thank you very much.
Great story.
And,
story.
It's like if you ever have a spin-off show, I think you should have it called My Crazy Wife, Angela,
Hey, listen.
My girl's a corker. She's a New Yorker. I buy her everything to keep her in style. She wears my DVDs while I stand outside and freeze, and boy, that's where my money goes.
I tell you what.
Happy motoring to you, Joe.
Happy motoring.
Thanks a lot. We appreciate it.
Let's try to get together at SEMA.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, that was Mark from Angel's Garage, and of course their show is broadcast out on Livestream TV and NBC affiliate. And of course, go to everycarhasastory.net and click on the link. And next week's guest is Angela. Angela's going to be on, and she's going to give us our spin. So things that Mark didn't tell you, she's going to tell you. And of course, always great guests. We're booking all the way into December already with car folks.
I tell you, and some incredible guests to be scheduled to come on, Joe.
And that there, one of I can't wait is Norman James. He designed the Lunar Rover and the Firebird 3. He's coming up in October. We have Charles Phoenix. He's going to be on at the end of the month. He's the ambassador of Americana. Great, fantastic book.
Yep.
I'd like to say special thanks to my car club, AACA, Cape Fear chapter. Go Cape Fear. And I'd like to thank all of our friends out there on Facebook who's given us support. And keep on watching. It's just going to get bigger and better each week. So from JoepeP and birthday boy Dusty.
Yep. See you at the car show.
See you at the car show. You're listening to Every Car Has a Story on 106.7, The Big Talker, from the Standard Glass Studios in Wilmington, North Carolina.